found out my mother wasn't my real mother the same day she forgot my name. And somehow, that wasn't even the worst part. It happened on a Sunday, the kind of Sunday that feels slow, quiet, and ordinary. I was sitting across from her at the kitchen table, same table I grew up eating breakfast at, same chipped corner, same faint coffee stain that never fully came out. She was staring at me, not in a strange way, not confused, just looking, like she was trying to remember something. "Can you pass me the sugar?" she asked. I handed it to her. She took it, smiled, then paused, looked at me again, and said, "Thank you, She stopped, just like that. My heart dropped, because she didn't finish my name. She didn't say anything, just sat there, trying and failing to remember who I was. "Mom?" I said. She blinked, then smiled again. "Of course I know who you are," she said quickly, too quickly. That's when I knew something was wrong. Her name is Margaret. She's 67, and until that moment, she had always been the most certain thing in my life. Not perfect, not overly emotional, but steady, always there. After my dad died when I was 14, it was just the two of us, and she became everything. Mother, father, support system, the person who showed up every time. Or at least, that's what I believed. Looking back now, there were signs, small things, easy to ignore. She started repeating stories, forgetting where she left things, asking the same questions twice, then 3 times. At first, I laughed it off. "Getting old," she'd say, and I'd nod, because that's what people do. They normalize things until they can't anymore. After that day, things got worse, faster than I expected. Names slipped, faces blurred, moments disappeared. And somewhere in the middle of all that, she started looking at me differently, like I was familiar, but not fully recognized. That hurt more than anything else, because losing someone slowly is different than losing them all at once. It's quieter, but it lasts longer. I took her to a doctor. They ran tests, asked questions, made her draw shapes, remember words, repeat sentences. I sat there, watching her struggle with things that used to be simple. And I realized something I didn't want to accept. I was losing her, piece by piece. Diagnosis came a week later, early-stage dementia. The doctor explained it calmly, like it was something manageable, something we could prepare for. But there's no preparing for watching someone disappear in front of you. You can't plan that. You can't control it. You just endure it. I moved back in with her, not because I had to, because I couldn't leave her alone. Not like that. Days became routines. Wake up, make breakfast, remind her of things, answer the same questions over and over. "Where's your father?" she asked once. "He passed away," I said. She nodded. Then 5 minutes later, she asked again, and each time it felt like telling her for the first time, grief on repeat. But the hardest part was when she forgot me. Not completely, just partially. Some days I was her son. Other days I was someone who visits often. And once I was a stranger. "Can I help you?" she asked me, standing in the doorway of her own house, looking at me like I didn't belong there. That day, I sat in my car for an hour, just staring at nothing, because I didn't know how to process it. How do you grieve someone who is still alive? The truth came out a month later, not from a doctor, not from a test, from her, in one of her clearer moments, the kind where everything lines up just enough for something real to slip through. We were sitting in the living room. She was holding an old photo album, flipping through pages slowly, smiling at things I didn't recognize. Then she stopped, looked at one photo, and frowned. "Who is this?" she asked. I leaned over. It was a picture of me, as a child, maybe 5 years old, standing next to her. "That's me," I said. She looked confused. Then something changed. Not recognition, something deeper, something closer to truth. "No," she said quietly. "That's not right." My chest tightened. "What do you mean?" She shook her head. "I remember. We didn't have a child." Everything inside me froze, because that sentence didn't make sense. It couldn't. "What are you talking about?" I said. She looked at me, and for a brief moment, she was completely clear, clearer than she had been in weeks. "We couldn't have one," she said. "They told us it wasn't possible." My mind started racing. "No, Mom, that's not—" "You came later," she said, softly, like she wasn't supposed to say it out loud. "You weren't ours." Silence, heavy, unavoidable. And just like that, everything I thought I knew started to crack. I didn't say anything else that night, because I didn't know what was real anymore. The next day, I went looking, through old documents, boxes, files, things I had never questioned before, because why would I? And then I found it, an envelope, old, yellowed at the edges, hidden at the back of a drawer. Inside, papers, adoption records, my name, a date, signatures, everything. Clear, undeniable. I sat there for a long time, because suddenly, my entire identity felt borrowed. Like I had been living someone else's story, without knowing it. I confronted her the next day, gently, carefully. "Mom, was I adopted?" She looked at me, and for a moment, I saw fear, real fear, then confusion, then nothing. "I don't remember," she said. And just like that, the truth disappeared again, lost somewhere in her mind, like everything else. I never got a full answer from her, never a proper explanation, just fragments, broken pieces, things that almost made sense, but never fully did. I learned more from the documents, from records, from names I didn't recognize, from a past that was never meant to reach me. My real parents were gone. Long before I could find them, there were no answers left, only questions, and one overwhelming feeling, that I had been loved, even if it wasn't the way I thought, even if it wasn't by blood, because at the end of everything, when she forgot everything else, she still reached for me sometimes, not by name, but by instinct, like something inside her still knew, still remembered, in a way words couldn't explain. She passed away 6 months later, quietly, peacefully, like she had slowly been preparing for it all along. At the funeral, people told stories about her kindness, her strength, the life she lived, and I stood there, listening, thinking about everything I never knew, everything I found out too late, and everything she never got the chance to explain. But in the end, none of that mattered as much as one simple truth. She may not have been my mother by blood, but she chose me, every day, for an entire lifetime. And maybe that's what being a parent really is, not where you come from, but who stays until the very end.